What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. And before anybody asks me why I'm not in an alliance anymore, why I'm not in the winning bros anymore, it's because I released one of the videos. You know, the Ultimate Guide Part 1, and this is the Ultimate Guide Part 2. Alright, so, Part 1, unfortunately, one of the members didn't want me releasing the strategy I told the entire alliance. It's strange. I mean, the first thing I said when I made the alliance was to every member is, that's what you need to do. And then I don't know how long it's been, maybe a couple of weeks, and apparently he disapproves of me releasing the strategy to you guys. And you know, he wanted me to delete the video, or you know, essentially that's what he was pushing for. And let me just set this thing back. Essentially, that's what he was pushing for, and I didn't want to bother with dealing with all the drama because I had like, you know, I had like computer problems and stuff like that. I didn't want to deal with it, so I was just like, all right, I'm leaving. That's essentially it. I'm like, you're gonna stop me from helping everyone else with the strategy that took me nights and nights of like battling and using ISO 8 to figure out. You know, I don't get that. I mean, yes, it makes it harder for everybody else, but you know, still, it also makes you more competitive, right? I mean, obviously, I play like non-stop, and you know, I've fought. Let me go in here. How many battles do you have? At least like 10,000, over 10,000 PvP fights that we've won. You know, and it makes you more competitive. And what happened there was he didn't like it, and it was a sort of a small. It wasn't even that long. I mean, it was like 2 minutes in, I was already tired. I mean, I was dealing with other stuff, so I just left the alliance. I was just like, all right, forget this, and then I just left the alliance. So we're keeping the video, and you know, before I think I was gonna dedicate it to the WBROS, the Winning Bros guide, but you know, I think we're gonna still do that, but you know, I don't know. But we're gonna continue on with the ultimate guides. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff. Today we're gonna be going over the signature abilities. And I'm just gonna go over them really quickly. Unfortunately, I think I spent 20 minutes. I did another video. I was like, yeah, that's kind of too long. So I'm gonna try to do it quickly here, hopefully. And I still can't get this sorting thing in order. I mean, I want the bronze with the bronze. Oh, wait, it's down here. Okay, I get it. Alright, there we go. Haha, got it. Alright, gonna go over them really quickly. I'm just gonna talk about cellular regeneration. This one essentially allows Wolverine to regenerate his health. You can read it. Pause the video. That's what you need to do. I don't want to keep the video for too long. It's 3 minutes in. I guess the first 3 minutes we're talking about why I'm no longer in the alliance. But I don't know. I guess we'll see how that goes. I might go back. I might make another one. I don't know. But here we are. Winter Soldier. This one basically increase attack for every bleeding chance that you have, or every bleed you inflict on the enemy. Alright, Vision, this guy, I know him very well. Vision, essentially this guy, you know, Vision, I don't know, when you're fighting, it randomly kind of regenerates or generates more power for you to do super. So, that's what Vision is. I don't like that, his special, his signature abilities. Alright, so, what is this? Unstoppable. Unstoppable Colossus, essentially he goes unstoppable just like Juggernaut, and you can't stop him. Essentially what Unstoppable is that if you try to hit him, he won't bounce back, or he won't get knocked back. So that's pretty bad. Now we're with Thor Ragnarok, Thunder God. Essentially this one, he becomes more powerful when the enemy is dazed, I believe, or stunned. That's from my experience. And Star-Lord, this guy, essentially, as blows are exchanged, Star-Lord familiarizes with opponents' techniques, increasing attack by up to 100% with every 10 of his combo hits. And that's the same thing for block as well. Spider-Man evade. This one essentially, he has like spider sense, and then he dodges the attack. That's essentially what it does. Up next, Scarlet Witch. This one I don't get what happens. I think when you're fighting, and you get critical hit or something, it randomly casts different stuff, like increased critical hit, increased health, or I guess health regeneration. What else? Armor break for the enemy. Yeah, it does a lot of stuff. Really cool stuff from Scarlet Witch. Now, Ronin, this one, I don't get what this one does actually. I haven't used I don't like using this guy, that's why. Essentially beneficial effects of 24.5% increased attack and stun duration. Alright, so I have no clue, but you can read it. I don't use that guy that much, if you're wondering. Now, Rhino, this one increases your physical resistance. So this one, if you play any other game, increases your physical defense, resistance, yada yada. Alright, moving on. This one, Punisher. Essentially, this one gives them 20% to deal a lethal blow. Juggernaut, I don't think we should look at it, but Unstoppable, same stuff. You can't knock him back. He goes crazy. Ooh, we're 6 minutes in. Alright, so let's try to go quicker. How many more do we have? Oh, wow. Alright, so Iron Man, this guy, I know him very well. Essentially, what happens is Arc Overload is that once you get down to a low health, it will automatically regenerate health. And if you're wondering, I'm not reading the description. Obviously, that's long and annoying unless I really don't know what it is. Now, Iron Fist. This one, what happens is it inflicts armor break on the enemy. And, I mean, you get a lot of armor break. This guy is actually pretty nice. Now, this one, Hulk. This one's a passive damage. Well, passive stuff, ability. Hulk Rage. Essentially, what happened is that it strengthens his attack based on health loss. It's passive, so you won't be able to see it activate. It won't say it has been activated. Alright, this one, Hawkeye. I like this guy, except I don't have any of his 4-star. But essentially what happens is that it inflicts bleed, I believe, and it deals a certain percentage of your attack per minute as direct damage. So the enemy will be bleeding, and then the damage will be the same as the attack you're making. I think that's what his special ability is. I could be wrong, though. Gamora, this one, Assassination. Essentially, what happens is she does a super slice, if you're lucky, and the slice takes much more damage off compared to a regular slice. Alright, Cyclops, this one is kind of weird, because from what I understand, as his combo count increases, which means every time you punch him, your combo count kind of increases, he will learn from the enemy and prevents the enemy from blocking. And then it adds additional critical damage to your attacks. That's what I believe. And Organic Steel for Colossus. This one, in a nutshell, is increased defense. A lot of stuff that can be said so easily doesn't have to take so long. Captain America, this one essentially increases your chance to do a perfect block, which reduces damage to 0. That's essentially what it does. Now, the Panther, this one is the one I'm really confused about. I think what happens is his attacks deals some sort of damage over a certain amount of time, but I could be wrong. Unfortunately, hopefully you took a look at it, but I don't use the Panther that much. That's why I'm really clueless about him. Actually, in fact, I die with the Panther, so yeah. Alright, so being struck by critical hit. So you have to be hit by a critical hit with Black Bolt. We are looking at Black Bolt's ability now. Increases his attack or critical damage by a certain percent for the rest of the fight. That's essentially it. Arc Reactor or Arc Overload. This one, same stuff. Once you go down to a small percentage of health, it will regenerate. Storm. This one, she does a lot of damage. I like Conduit. Essentially, her lightning bolt will do additional critical hit damage per point of enemy power. Alright, so this character, this one is a bit strange. Well, actually, it's not strange. What happens is, rewind is, an enemy hits you. If it's activated, you will rewind. That means that you won't lose any health. You will regenerate the health. It's kind of like healing, but not exactly. Drag. This guy, every time you do the Fury, you get Fury, right? There's Fury counts. Every time it goes up, your damage increases, which makes them pretty strong if you get a lot of Fury. Abomination. This guy is the poison stinking gas guy that, although it's gamma radiation, but I call it stinking gas guy because he looks like a sewer rat or something. or something. Essentially, what happens is when you're fighting him, it gets you activated. He will poison you, and then once you're poisoned, you will lose health. That's essentially his signature ability. If you're wondering, hopefully I'm going over it easily. Unlike some of the other people that go over it in like high reading detail. I just essentially tell you my experience from the character. I don't like reading the stuff because obviously they make it sound more sophisticated. Alright, for Captain Marvel, this is the one that I have. There's no 2-star, so that's why I have to go in here. Attack is increased by up to a certain percent based on stored power. So the amount of power you do not use is stored here. In addition, what happens is, this is energy absorption. It absorbs energy-based attacks partially, only a bit, not a lot. So you get healed a bit. So that's Captain Marvel. It increases attack as well as heal stuff. Deadpool, I think we all know this one. This one heals. Healing factor. Whenever you're running around, it's still healing. Not by a lot. I think at my level it's about 25. Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon. This one essentially is every 10 combos you do, it increases critical hit. And what else? What else? What else? Oh, no, wait, we already looked at that. Do we have a 4-star that's unique that isn't found anywhere? No. Alright, that is pretty much it for this video. Another ultimate guide. And luckily we did it in 13 minutes again. If you're wondering why I left that group, I mean, why I'm not in the alliance anymore, that is why. Hopefully this signature ability guide video helps somebody. I know that as they release new characters, there will be new signature abilities. Maybe I'll do them, maybe I won't. I don't know. But that is pretty much it. I do have Electro, and I don't have his ability unlocked, so I couldn't go over it. But anyways, that is about it. That is another ultimate guide video to Marvel Contest of Champions. Be sure to follow along on these guides. And again, I am still dedicating this to the winning bros for now. I mean, maybe if we create a new alliance, then we'll dedicate it to the other group. Or maybe I might rejoin the winning bros. We'll see what happens. But that is about it for this video. Hopefully this has helped you, and we'll be back in the next video.